Welcome to FBB Forum. If you like this content, please be sure to follow me on Instagram and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm very pleased to welcome the stunning IFBB Pro women's physique athlete and 2024 Olympian, Sandra Knezevic, to the podcast. I hope I got that pretty good. um,
Yes, thank you, David.
Sandra celebrated a big win 2 weeks ago, right?
Yes,
At
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Okay, I want to make sure. At the Empro Classic in Spain, and secured her first pro win and her first O qualification. And this was only her second pro show, so I think that's really impressive too. Sandra lives in Switzerland and has overcome actually many obstacles to get to this point. And we'll talk a little bit about that more, but she has a very inspirational story. Stay tuned to learn more about Sandra and her bodybuilding journey. Welcome, Sandra. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, David, for the interview and the invitation to the show.
Oh, you're welcome. I was so impressed with you at the Empro, and you were not really on my radar. I wasn't familiar with you, but I think you just wowed everybody, impressed everybody.
Yes, I was 5.5 years off from stage. My first pro show was 2018 at the first Romanian Muscle Fest Pro.
Okay.
And since then, I had some obstacles and couldn't compete. I
Okay.
did want to compete, but life once had other things in mind with me. So
Yeah.
this was my second show, and it was awesome. I went to Empro Pro. I had so much fun, and I did win. Here, the ring, and here we have the medal
I see. I
of the
love
show.
that. Yeah. You got the crown up there too.
Yes, the crown too. Yeah, everything.
That's awesome. No, congratulations. Yeah, you really look fantastic there.
Yeah, thank you
And
very much.
yeah, it's exciting about you going to the Olympia too. And I'll get to see you there too. That'll be awesome. Um, my and we'll get back about those about the struggles you overcame. But I was wondering, in terms of getting started in bodybuilding, did you have an athletic or a sports background before you started?
Well, as a kid, I didn't do sports at all. I started with 16. I started kendo. This is Japanese fencing.
Oh,
It's derived from the fighting methods of the Asian samurai. You wear
oh,
an armor and you fight against an opponent to score some points. You hit on certain spots of the body.
okay.
I was good in it. I was in the Swiss team. I went to European Championships. I was in the World Championship.
Wow.
And I did that for about 10 years until I had some accidents or injuries. I had a frozen shoulder and it didn't make fun anymore. And then I stopped.
Wow. Okay.
I switched over to rock climbing. I
Oh,
did that for
wow.
2 years. And good thing about rock climbing was you learn a lot about yourself and mental. So you see there is not only one way you can go, you have to find your own way. And
Yeah.
you also, if you are stuck somewhere, you just take a breath and then you make a step forward, a little steps forward. So this is what I learned with climbing. Then my climbing partner moved to North Germany. So I didn't find another match and I didn't do sports for 1 or 2 years.
Okay.
And, I turned late 20s. You're a woman, you don't have a good diet, and your pants don't fit anymore.
Oh, I
And you think,
understand.
oh, I should do something. So I went to the gym and signed a membership, and I started with doing cardio.
Oh, very cool. So that's how you kind of got started in the gym, huh?
Yes, yes.
Wow, that's so cool. That the rock climbing is interesting because that's kind of scary. Was it frightening for you, or did you go like up the mountains and stuff?
We started first in the hall
Uh-huh.
just to learn. I was beginner, she was beginner. Um, she was actually looking for somebody to climb with, and she hit me up, and I was like, "Yeah, cool, we can try it." And we were a perfect match. So we did first some technical things in the hall. We had a teacher there, and then when it was spring and summer, we went a little bit climbing. We also went to Croatia once. We were there sailing and climbing. It was awesome. We didn't do like long distance climbing in
Okay.
big mountains like Yosemite or something like that. We did
Yeah.
smaller ones, but it really make fun and challenging, and you can adapt the level you have on everything.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so cool that you did that. Yeah. There's a really interesting rock climbing or movie documentary called Free
Mhm.
Solo that's worth watching
Yes.
if you ever get. Did you see that? That's
Oh,
amazing.
of course. Of course, I did see that.
Yeah, that guy was a little bit crazy though. I think it was like some of the stuff he did. I was like, oh my gosh. But
Yes.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, but there we see in these movies, you see people don't succeed at first time. They have to do the same things over and over again. They fail and they try, and somewhere they reach the top.
That's true. And he's very inspirational, but I still think he's a little crazy though. Oh my gosh, some of the stuff he did, I was like, oh gosh. I'm too risk averse, I think, for that. Now, how'd you get started in bodybuilding and who convinced you to do your first contest?
Yes. When I signed to the gym and I did my cardio, it was at a time where there was no Netflix or YouTube. So you were sitting on this bicycle and riding for an hour and watched at a wall. And this wall were pictures of people who did a contest.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I was always watching and looking and what awesome shapes they have. And
Yeah.
there was a coach in the gym. His name was Peter, and he did also contests. And he was always in shape, super shredded. And once I asked him, like, Peter, do you think I can ever look like this? And then he looked, from the bottom to the top to me and said, this will take years.
Huh?
And I said, yay, I have time. Let's get started.
Oh, awesome. That's terrific. So
So
did you start working with him as a coach and stuff?
yes, he was my first coach, and we started 2011
Oh
with
wow.
just he showed me all the old school bodybuilding techniques, how to lift weight, because I didn't have experience in weightlifting at all. He showed
Okay.
me everything, and then 2013, 2 years later, we went for the first show.
Wow, that's so cool. That's exciting. Which division did you do?
This was I went to the first show was in Top to Colmar. This is a place in France next to the border of Switzerland,
Okay.
and it's no federation. So you go there. It's totally free for athletes.
Oh,
You go
cool.
there in the morning. You sign in and you go on stage.
Okay.
There are about 2,000 people watching always there. So
Oh
it's
wow.
really huge. It's a big atmosphere. Many athletes are coming, usually about 600.
Oh
So
wow.
we went there, and the division was body fitness, it
Oh
was
yes.
called.
I'm familiar with that. You have to wear heels,
Mhm.
right? I think for that.
Yes, I did wear heels. Yes.
Oh yeah. But you get to flex like a physique, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's something like, yeah, similar to women's physique, just in high heels.
Oh sure. Yeah. I've seen videos of that. Yeah, that's I know it's kind of unique to Europe and like NABA. I know NABA has something similar too.
Yes.
That's very cool. That's awesome. Um, I was curious, do you have a fitness role model that you look up to now?
Yeah, when I started with training, we had these magazines like Flex magazine and everything.
Yeah.
And of course, it was my time when, Phil Heath, Jay Cutler, Kai Green was there in these magazines. And
Oh
with
yeah.
women, I also remember it was Iris Kyle, always Alina Poppa, and
Mhm.
Helle Trevino. So
Oh
my
yeah.
role model actually is my coach now. So
That's awesome. Yeah, Hella is so amazing. And I know she's done some really good work with you too, huh?
yes, awesome, brilliant work. Yes.
Yeah, she's such a legend in the sport and she gives back so much too. I'm excited to see her at the Olympia. I've not met her in person, but I'm looking forward to seeing her there this year. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's terrific. Those are good role models too. I was curious so when you first did your first show in 2013, was it kind of tough for you to get up on stage in a bikini with, in front of all these people? Was it kind of nerve-wracking for you?
Yes, you have to think, as a girl or young woman, I was very introvert.
Mm,
So bodybuilding was something a really challenge for me. I wanted to take that challenge not only body wise, but also to improve my mental and yeah, myself. So it was very challenging, but more challenging than stepping on a bikini on a stage was to walk in those high heels, because
oh,
I was used for I was used walking in sneakers, so I had to
oh,
train in high heels.
oh, you probably had to practice a lot to do the high
Yes,
heels. I bet.
yes.
Yeah. I think it would be tough to, how the ladies have to flex their legs while they're in the heels. And it seems like that would take a while to get used to that, to practice that too.
Yes, it's whole different than if you are flat. It's really different.
Yeah, I bet. Um, no, I bet that was nice to get rid of the heels too. Like, get rid of
Yes,
these things. Yeah.
that was why I wanted to switch over to film and physique, only because no high heels.
I like that. Oh man. Um, so I was curious, do you get nervous on stage now though at all, or you feel pretty confident on stage?
Now, every time my heart is pumping like crazy,
Yeah, I
because
bet.
you want to show your best, and it's for me now. I mean, um, I did as an amateur. I did 7 shows, and with as a pro, this was my second show. So I
Yeah,
don't have so much experience like other people who are stepping on stage several times a year. So
yeah,
in my whole career, it was now the ninth show. So I'm still nervous because it's something new that I don't experience every time, and I
yeah.
want to do it, my best. So I'm always nervous.
Oh, it's going to be exciting for you to get on that big Olympia stage too, I bet. That'll be exciting.
Oh, I cannot think of, this must be, yeah, I don't know.
Just
You have to.
don't freeze like Joe Biden, because then it won't be enough.
I will try. I will try.
I'm sorry, I'm being silly. Um, Now you had mentioned to me, before the interview about overcoming some really serious injuries and mental health struggles in recent years, and how Helle kind of helped you not only as a prep coach but as a life coach too. But tell me a little bit about this. What happened to you, and how did Helle help you?
Yes. Well, it started, when I won my first pro show in 2018. A little bit later, 2018, at my first pro show, I met Helle the first
Hmm.
time. A little bit later, met her at the FIBO and trained with her, and then I asked her for coaching.
Okay.
So we started coaching in May 2019, and we made plans and said, well, we need some time for change the body a little bit and go on a stage as a pro. So we wanted to go on 2020 to compete, but
Okay.
2020 was the year when COVID started, so we
Yeah.
had to stop our prep. And I was thinking, well, then I will train like crazy and build muscle mass and everything. And then in March 21, I was on my bicycle for shopping, and then I had an accident, and torn the main triceps tendon on the right
Oh,
arm.
wow.
And I went to a hospital here for professional athletes.
Hmm.
Um, and I remember sitting in the office of the doctors with the surgeon, and he said, you need a surgery.
Really?
And as an athlete, the first thing you're thinking of was like, the question was, how long will it take that I can lift again?
Yeah, I
And
understand.
I saw in his face, he looked at me and said, he's the best. He's really the best. He did some surgeries for Novak Djokovic on his elbow.
Oh, really?
And
Wow.
yes, so he's really a brilliant doctor.
Oh,
And he
wow.
said he will do his best, but he doesn't know how my body responds and how it heals. So
Mhm.
he
Yeah.
cannot say if I ever can do that sport again.
Okay.
So at this moment, you're like, from one second to the other, you're like, oh shit, this was it.
Yeah.
And well, the surgery went good. And I had faith and was thinking, now it will take some time, some weeks, some months, and I will be back. And
Yeah.
my doctor motivated me and said, yes, go for training, go to the gym, do just the left side, don't use the right side, just the left side, and do like bench press or whatever, triceps, biceps, because if you think of the muscle, it will grow. The body
Uh-huh.
is connected and everything like
Yeah.
that.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yes, yes, because
Uh-huh.
it sounded so motivating. And then, you
Yeah.
know, I felt how everything shrunk. I was like, it didn't really happen like that, but
Yeah.
I
I
was still
understand.
motivated. And I was thinking, yeah, it will come good. But a few months later, I had another accident and I needed a knee surgery.
Oh, wow.
And this knee surgery, it was not a big thing, but it didn't heal that good.
Oh,
Overall, I'm not a good scar healer.
okay.
And where they went into the knee with the instruments, there was a scar, and it just always rubbed on a bad place, and I had always inflammation and pain and everything.
Oh, wow.
And then I had like 7 weeks that I couldn't walk stairs.
Oh,
So
really?
it took me a
Wow.
very long time.
Yeah.
So, and then I had a half body that was trained, like half body physique, and the other half body was bikini.
Oh,
And
oh, wow.
it was
Uh-huh.
so frustrating.
Yeah.
And I felt into a kind of depression,
Mhm.
especially well, I went to the gym every day and then trained one side. And then I have a picture on the wall hanging. And the, there came some people and looked at the picture and were watching it. Wow, look at this woman and how good she looks. And then they looked to me and said, do you ever want to be like her? And I was like, well, actually, that was me once.
Oh,
you
wow.
know.
Oh, man.
And such things, such little things, that is so hard on your mind,
Yeah.
especially if you're an athlete and you
Mhm.
lose the hope of ever coming back.
Yeah.
I had so many times in the gym that I cried, to be honest, and it
Mhm.
was so super hard. And at this point, Helle told me like, um, she's scared that that I have mental issues. And then I told her like, yes, you have so much experience and you also offer mental coaching, can you do some mental coaching or life coaching with me?
Mhm.
And she was like, yes, let's try. And we started life coaching
Mhm.
with once a week. We talked about being grateful, about yes, everything, what makes me happy, how to look forward, not to look back, such
Mhm.
things. And this really helped me to be what I'm now.
That's terrific. Yeah, we talked a little bit about Hella overcame her own injuries and her own
Mhm.
struggles. So she kind of lived that life, and so she kind of helped you more maybe because of that, right?
Yes, we had, she also had like this tendon ruptures in her biceps and also the shoulder. And, you have a good connection there. You know how long certain things take. You know how the pain feels. You know that the tendon in the first few weeks or months is not the same. It's like it doesn't feel really good. You don't have the muscle mind connection. So
Yeah.
you can exchange, and she can give, or we can talk about what exercises are good or not, because
Okay.
such things is really based on experience. You cannot learn it from a book.
Yeah.
You have to experience yourself.
Yeah, I understand that. I was thinking too, she kind of overcame some mental struggles probably herself because there was a time when she couldn't compete. And I think that was
Mhm.
really hard on her too, but she could relate to you better too, I think, right?
Yes. Yeah, we were like a super team. Honestly, we she helped me so much with everything. She had him for everything an answer. If it was training, it was diet, it was injuries, it was if it was beauty. So we talked about everything, and this is
Mhm.
something I appreciate of her as a coach and as a women in this sport as a coach.
Yeah, that's
This is
terrific.
something you cannot get from a man, that you talk about beauty and stuff like that. Or
Yeah,
yeah, it's really seldom. And she did really take time for me.
that's terrific. Yeah, she's a terrific person. She's a real legend in the sport. And I think that there are advantages to having a female coach because there's certain because women and men are different, of course, but the prep is different, you know, just the training is different. So having a female coach, I think, is helpful too.
Yes, you also talk with a woman, you talk differently. You're more
Mhm.
open for certain topics than with a man. And
Yeah,
especially, when you are um, when you have your period, sometimes the hormones are, different, and you are so craving for sweets or something like that. And
yeah,
I feel some men, they don't understand that, that it is, not about cheating. It's like the hormone system that wants it.
yeah.
And you can better talk with a woman about such things than with a man. This is my own experience.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah, no, and I've heard that from other ladies with female versus male coaches too. So
Mhm.
that's cool. Well, it's really cool that you overcame those struggles, with Hella's help. And um, so now tell me about the Empro show because that was a big deal and such a big win for you. What was your experience like there? And of course, congrats on your first Olympia coming up in October.
Yes, thank you. Well, the ring tells everything, or the stuff. This show was so phenomenal, really. Emilio Martinez did a, an amazing show. I mean, there were over 180 professional athletes at this show. It was really
Wow,
big,
that's
and
big.
he he did put so much passion into it. You could see it. It was a hard competition. I mean, all the athletes were very good shape there. I think I brought the best package on this day, so I placed first. I'm super happy and super grateful that I can go to the Olympia and got this qualification. It's really a dream that comes true. Yeah, I mean, me from Switzerland, the second show going to Olympia, it's like, it's unbelievable.
That's awesome. Yeah, that must have been a big confidence boost for you right there. That's pretty amazing. Yeah.
I couldn't sleep for a week.
Oh, really?
I was like in bed and like, oh, Olympia, Olympia.
That's so awesome. Yeah. It is, it's like the Super Bowl of the sport. And it's kind of like you got the ring, like Super Bowl ring going on now. I like
Yeah, it's super heavy, like really. It's a Super Bowl
that.
bodybuilding ring.
Although I know the American football is not quite as popular there as in here in the
No.
US. When more, I know it's more soccer over there.
Yes, yes.
No, that's very cool. That must have been really exciting for you though. Um, and I know, you had some really tough competition there, like Paula and Lenka. Were you kind of surprised by your win, or did you and Hella feel pretty confident that you had the win secured before the show?
Well, I don't have rivalry against other athletes. When
Yeah.
I go on stage, I go and do my best. I don't
Mhm.
look really left and right.
Mhm.
I let the judges decide what they like because it's their job. I,
Yeah.
as an athlete, just go on stage and have fun. This is
Mhm.
what I want to do. But every athlete was on top level, and it was also a great show for the fans. And what I also enjoyed was the friendship behind. Backstage, we were really close together. We had some great talks,
Mhm.
and especially for Lenka, I cross my fingers that she will qualify now in Portugal show for the Olympia, win it, so that we can meet again at the Olympia.
Oh, Lenka's terrific. I've actually helped met her a few times at the Tampa show and helped bring her to the supermarket or to the gym. And yeah, she's
Mhm.
she's such a terrific person, but she's so gorgeous too. I love her look. Yeah, she's amazing.
Yes, yes. But the other athletes, there are so many passionate athletes. I mean, Diana from Costa Rica, I met her at in the toilet before the registration, and
Uh-huh.
she was like, ah, and then she started talking. and she talked in Spanish. Didn't talk, I didn't understand the word, but
Uh-huh.
then I took, my phone and we did do Google Translate, and
Oh,
it was so
cool. Yeah.
nice, having such wonderful people in the sport,
Yeah.
who have passion, and you really feel home there, and family and friends, and this makes much more fun going in a show when you have such people around you.
I agree with you. Yeah, and I think it seems like even more with the women than the men competing, that there's more like a sisterhood kind of thing. You know what I mean? That,
Yeah, it's probably because we are a smaller group of person. You always met the same person, people in the shows.
mhm.
So maybe it's because of that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. And there's not like a wrestling style beef kind of thing. It's like, I'm calling you out, Linka, that kind of thing. Oh man. Now it's curious, are you going to compete again before the Olympia? Or are you is Vegas your next stage stop? You're going to focus on the Olympia?
Well, I work full time, so I have to. I usually take all my vacation for fitness, for vacation or preparation.
Yeah.
So I actually took a lot of vacation now for prepping for the Empro show,
Okay.
and I don't have so many vacation left to do any more shows than the Olympia.
Oh
So
yeah.
Olympia will be the next one.
Oh, terrific. Yeah. I think that's a good idea to focus on the Olympia too. And that we want more women to qualify too. So you can't be stealing
Yes,
qualifications. I know there's a
yes.
big show coming up on next weekend in Portugal. So that's going to be a good show. I didn't know, was curious if you might attend that show or will you get to go?
I will watch the live stream because
Yeah.
also Jay Fuchs from Switzerland is competing there.
Yeah.
So I will watch the live stream and cheer for Jay and Leica.
Oh yeah, Jay and Lenka, yeah, they're both so awesome, and yeah, they're yeah, very talented European competitors that I've been following them both for a long time. Um, I was curious. I know, of course, you won Empro, but did you get any feedback from the judges in terms of where they thought you might need to improve your physique or your presentation?
Yes, this is something I very appreciate. The judges give us the chance to ask them if we want what to improve on, and I
Yeah,
think this is a great opportunity to hear from the judges what they want to see.
yeah.
And I asked for feedback, and it was that I should put more size on my arms,
Mm,
and my abs was a little bit flat. So there are the improvements I have to make.
okay,
And
good.
I'm very confident that I can bring it to the Olympia.
Terrific. That's great. Yeah, and you have time too to work on the improvements and stuff. So yeah,
Yes, yes. There are
yeah,
some weeks to
yeah.
go.
That's true. You got a few weeks to go for sure. Um, Now, in terms of, I don't think we discussed this yet, but how long have you been in women's physique division?
Well, when I was amateur, I competed in the body fitness division. So the first few shows I did there, I did top to Colmar competition. I was in the WABA Federation for some shows. And then 2017, I switched over to the IFBB.
Hmm.
And also 2017, I did my first Olympia amateur in Italy.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So it was there, the women's physique division, where I did. And 2018, 1 year later, I won also at Olympia Amateur in Italy my pro card and turned pro.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome. Yeah. I was curious, would you ever consider moving to women's bodybuilding division? Because your back already kind of looks like it's there. It's an amazing back.
Well, I always looked up to women's bodybuilding and admired those people because, this is something you cannot really reach. It's really the top of the top.
Yeah.
But you have to be, a little bit realistic and say, where does my body fit the most?
Uh-huh.
And also, how is my body? Because, you know, the muscle can grow. This is no problem. Well, it is a problem, but you can put on size. But mostly the weakness is not the muscle, but, the tendons and the joints.
Yeah.
And I have problems with my tendons are not so good. This is because Yeah, my doctor told me that genetically they are not so elastic as they should be.
Okay.
So I will ever have pain or problems with the tendons or joints if I'm not training very carefully.
Oh,
And
I
if you
see.
have a
Yeah.
bigger muscle, then there is more tension overall, and this is not healthy then.
Yeah.
And it's better
Understand.
for me to stay in a women's physique or a smaller division with small muscles than trying to go up and have like pain and injuries.
I totally understand that. That makes sense. Yeah. I was wondering, could I pause just for a second? I'll be right back.
Yes, yes, of course.
Now, I was wondering, is there any advice you could provide to ladies who are kind of seeking to earn their pro card? And I know it takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but any tips for amateurs who are looking to earn their pro card?
Um, yes, train hard and go to shows. This is the only way to get a pro card. And
Yeah,
especially don't be disappointed if you don't earn your pro card at your very first show,
yeah,
because it's very competitive, really. In every divisions, there are so many women who are now on a top level. I mean, they're training from a young age on, and you see there is much quality, and it gets very hard to be first.
yeah.
And bodybuilding is about improving. So go to a show and learn your lessons and improve, and then go to the next show. And if you keep going, you will succeed. This is what I can tell everybody.
That's good advice. I even think it makes sense to even to go and watch a show and be in the audience and kind of see who's winning and who the judges are picking to see what kind of look they're looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it can make sense. Yes, if you
Hmm.
have the ability, or if you can buy and live stream, you can do that.
Hmm.
Um, it is sometimes I feel it's also very difficult. You sometimes there are shows you don't know. Some people place on one show bad, and 2 weeks later the plays good. So
Hmm.
sometimes I'm not sure if there is really like a strict um, yeah, line there where to place. You know, it's always also up who's competing next to you and how
Yeah,
you look there. But of course you need some experience, and it's always good to see other people because you can copy. Uh, Always copy good things when you see it. You
yeah.
can copy posing or presentation, looks.
Hmm.
Yes, the small things. You don't have always to invent everything from scratch.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. And I think, yeah, going to a show and is really handy sometimes. Um, or watching the live stream because
Mhm.
and and just even buying that ticket and supporting the show because we all, we need to support each other too, fans and the athletes and everything, So, um,
Yes, I think every athlete is also a big fan of of his sport itself.
yeah.
You know, before I qualified for the Olympia, I already had a VIP ticket for the Olympia. So
Oh, you
I
did?
actually wanted to go watching. Now I'm, on the other side of the stage.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's really cool, actually. That's great. I was telling a few folks that Circus, which is the kind of the old shitty hotel next to where the Resorts World, where the Olympia's going to
Yes.
be, the rooms are cheap at Circus. So that's if you're trying to bring friends and family, that might be the place to stay because Resorts World is expensive, So you gotta,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. But this is good thing. I will keep that in mind.
Yeah, yeah, Circus. Definitely check it out. I found a really
Of
cheap room
course.
there and not, it's not terrible. It's just old and smoky. Um, I was curious, like in terms of your physique, what would you say is your favorite muscle group and what area do you think you'd want to improve the most in terms of your muscle group?
Yes, my favorite muscle groups are the shoulders.
Oh
I like
yeah.
them. I train them. I also like chest.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And what should improve, of course, my arms. They are too small compared to chest and shoulders. They are too small. So this is where I want to put my focus on.
Okay, very cool. That's awesome. Yeah. And I can see that too in terms of improvements, but yeah, you like we said, you have time to make those improvements
Mm.
too. Now, of course, we know that Helle is your coach, but do you have a posing coach too, or do you work with her on posing?
Yeah, Hella is the whole package. She is my she does my nutrition, she does my training, she does my mental life coaching, she does my posing. She did also the music and the posing routine that I had.
Oh
So
yeah.
she did everything.
Oh
I work full time, and I don't. This is the reason why I have a coach, that I can just outsource, my problems or
yeah.
just my questions, and
Uh-huh.
just keep in plan. And for me, it's very simple. I just have a single point of contact, and this is Helle. She knows me. She knows how my body works. In terms of posing, she knows I have a bad knee, that I cannot do certain poses, or how to turn around. And she has so much experience, and she has really a very good eye, very good feeling, and I really can just say, hit her up if you want to have a posing or any kind of sessions. She's very open-minded and very, very awesome. I just can recommend her for everything.
That's terrific. Yeah, she is. She's really amazing. That now that we're talking about her too, I wanted to plug. I have my Bad Rap shirt on, but I know that she has been active with Bad Rap,
Mhm.
and if y'all are familiar with it, it's a clothing company that gives back to bodybuilders and helps pay for their travel expenses, like paying for Sherry Priami's trip to Portugal and stuff. So, um,
Yes.
but yeah, and but they're Eunice and JoJo, the ladies that run Bad Rap, are really terrific. But it's an acronym: big and defined, ripped and pumped. So, which is perfect for bodybuilding.
Yeah, it's perfect, and I very appreciate that such people give us athletes the chance to compete or do what we love, because this sport is very expensive, really. And if you can make somebody happy, then it's with them. Let's do what their passion is, and
Yeah,
yes, I'm very thankful for those people who do that.
that's great. No, thank you. I definitely agree with you on that. And they've done a great job. They're relatively young, but they've already gotten helped out some really good athletes and helping out in
Mhm.
a lot of ways, I think. So, um, um, now I was curious, what would you say is the most challenging part of prep for you?
Well, this prep, it was time.
Yeah.
Just to find time in between working a full-time job. I have 42 hours a week, plus I have a training client that I have 4 times a week, plus the usual stuff that you have with home and shopping and everything.
Hmm.
And then you need to, as a pro, you need to train some hours. So
Yeah.
the days are very long, and time is really something that this really the most challenging thing for me. It's not the diet or the training, because training I love, diet you have to do.
Hmm.
So it's really something I cannot change, is time.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, and it's not something you can really add, unless you have a time machine or something.
Yes, the thing is, you go on a prep and people are like, oh, when can we go for lunch, or can you go to the restaurant? When can we go for making some fun or so? And you're like, oh, in 4 months.
Oh, after the show. Yeah, you're right.
Yes. Now they, when I came back from the Empro Pro, they're like, so Sandra, when can we go to McDonald's? And I said, listen, this will be somewhere between October and November. Like, oh,
Oh no, yeah. That's but that's shows who your true friends are if they're patient with you and they understand what you're doing too, that you're focusing on the show and stuff and getting ready for it. So
yes, yes.
I know that I think that would be really challenging as a bodybuilder. I think that would just be, just it's tough to juggle that and yeah, your friends have to be patient with you too, I think, in terms of social life and such. So
Yes,
yeah.
you have to get some very understandable friends. It's really
Yeah,
important.
that's true. Yeah. Um, um, how are you doing on time, by the way?
Pardon?
How are you doing on time? I didn't want to keep you too long.
No, no, it's fine. It's fine. We have time.
Okay. Okay, good,
Nothing.
guys. Just want to make sure I've got time too. Um, I was curious, your conditioning is really amazing, but I was wondering if you can give advice on how to achieve such a great level of conditioning, because I know some ladies struggle with that, and I know it's not the easiest thing to do.
Well, I have to say thanks to my dad. He did a good job. Well, no, it's really genetics. My dad he didn't do sports at all, but I remember when I was a small kid, I always liked his arm because he
Uh-huh.
had all the veins coming out, and he was so yeah, he was very lean.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
really genetically um, also sometimes when I'm in the gym and you see, the veins coming out, and people ask me like, "Oh, how do you get that?" And I always say, "Yeah, it's because of the hot temperature." Mostly they ask that in summer. They say,
Oh,
"Yeah,
yeah.
when it's warm, it comes out," And then in winter they ask, "Well, they still come out." And I said, "Well, it's like that. I cannot change it."
Uh-huh. I understand that though.
Yeah,
I've
it's
heard.
it's really genetically. I don't think that I do something different than others. I don't
Okay.
diet harder than others, really not.
Yeah.
So you have your weaknesses and strengths. So yeah,
Yeah, I understand. I've heard about that. Some people do have more genetically predisposed to conditioning and vascularity and stuff. So yeah, yeah, that's pretty cool though. You got it from your dad.
yes.
Um, One thing I was curious about, if you could give advice to ladies who are looking for a good coach, what should they do or what should they be looking for a good coach?
Yes. In my career, I had two coaches. The first coach was Peter, who took me from the beginning, who taught me how to train and
Hmm.
who brought me up to being a pro,
Hmm.
anonymous pro card. And when I was pro, I switched to Helle, and I'm still, Helle's client.
Yeah.
So I think the most important thing for me was not to change
Hmm.
because it takes time to learn, you know, to learn the body. The coach needs to learn you, your mindset, how you react, and you have to work as a team. And
Hmm.
I think you cannot do that in a season. It's too quick. You need
Yeah,
some years there. Maybe 5.5 years is a long time. Maybe we could have done shorter, but my injuries came into it.
that's
And
true. Yeah.
yes, I also think what my other mostly hear when I talk with people about coaches is they look at the price, and the
Mhm.
first thing is like, oh, this coach is very expensive. I'll go for a cheaper one. And I think, you know, you're doing so much in bodybuilding. You're putting so much effort into your training, into your diet, and in everything, in bikini and everything. And then you save some money on the coach. What is the most important thing? But I
Yeah.
really don't understand. So, but
Mhm.
I understand it. The sport is expensive. It costs money, and yeah, everybody has to make their own decisions. I, for myself, would say just find a coach that really fits to you personally and also with the knowledge that you can talk, ask questions, and yeah, and then if you find the perfect fit, stay with this coach and
Yeah.
make your experience. If you struggle and if you don't place good, you have things to improve. Don't
Mhm.
quit, don't change, because
Mhm.
another one is not better.
Mhm.
You start
Yeah,
from the beginning again. So just stay on it and work harder, and then you will succeed.
that's really good advice, I think. Um, I think I wonder too if it's hard to find a good coach that kind of helps with the mental aspect sometimes too, or and that shows that they care enough to help through some of the tough mental times.
This is something I really, when you listen to those podcasts and every shows, comments on YouTube, you always hear about training, about diet, but you never hear about the mental things.
Yeah.
So I don't think that people are aware how important this thing is. I
Hmm.
mean, this is in every professional sport is the mental so important.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary about Michael Phelps, the
Hmm.
swimmer, you
Yeah.
know, and
Hmm.
he was also talking that at some point he needed, life coaching, and it took him 2 years to get his mindset again right for prepping for the Olympia.
Really?
So it is not
Wow.
only, it is in every sport, every professional sport, the mindset needs to be on the top level to really succeed. So I'm wondering why this is not a topic in bodybuilding so much.
Yeah.
But maybe it comes with time.
Uh-huh. I think it does come with time, and in some cases, maybe the training coach isn't the right mental coach too. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
it might add like another layer of coaching though, but then and that makes it more expensive. But but still, you know what I mean? Sometimes that um
Mhm.
having that mental health is important. And I could see where adding another layer of coaching maybe sometimes would help. So um but yeah, I understand where you're coming from, especially with other pro athletes. They all kind of go through that. Um,
Mhm.
like you said with Djokovic and the tennis people. I
Mhm.
mean, I think that pressure that the tennis people go through is amazing. And yeah, and I think one of the female tennis pros talked about that recently. I forget which one it was, but and she stopped competing for a little bit, I
Mhm.
think, just to give herself a mental break but it
Yes.
made sense. She got criticized for it, but kind of makes sense, in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Yes, it makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm. I think it was Coco Gauff, maybe. I can't remember,
Mhm.
but yeah. Now I was curious in terms of Switzerland, where do you live? Are you in one of the big cities there?
Well, it's not so big. Yeah, Switzerland. It's one of the bigger cities, to be honest. I live in Basel. This is
Okay.
at the border to France and Germany,
Oh,
right
cool.
at the corner.
Okay.
The city itself is maybe 20,000 citizens or so. It's not big,
Oh, that's small.
but I live a little bit in the surroundings, so it's you can it's nice. You have everything at one place,
Okay.
and you're very fast everywhere. so
Yeah.
so it's good. But to be honest, we don't have here really bodybuilding. It was when I moved here to Basel. It was very difficult for me to find the gym. To be honest, there
Mm-hmm.
are so many gyms for normal people,
Mm-hmm.
and you have dumbbells, yeah, very tiny dumbbells and little
Mm-hmm.
plates there, so
Mm-hmm.
nothing to train for me. uh, and when I was looking for a gym, most said like, "Oh, you look like a bodybuilder. We don't want to have you here in this gym."
Really?
So
Oh,
when I moved to Basel, I ended up in a tiny garage gym. It's called Animal Gym, and the owner, he has such a great heart for bodybuilding,
wow.
and he's very
Mhm.
young, or he was very young, and he put all his money he had into and bought old school machines, and the
Yeah.
place was so tiny that you have like, I think if you want to go through the gym, you have like 30 steps.
Really?
So it's really
Wow.
all packed together, but there are so cool machines into it.
Really?
And I started
Wow.
training there, and I turned pro in this gym, in this tiny
Wow.
gym. And
That's great.
it was for me, it was amazing. And it was also nice that, the people around that were like young people. Some people didn't have a job, so it was like not, the best. Um, and those people looked at me and said, "Wow, Sandra turned pro in this tiny gym or in
Uh-huh.
this place, so I can do that too." It was like a
Yeah.
motivation for those people that you can achieve with very little. You don't
Uh,
have to be perfect. You don't have to be like a big sponsorship or a huge gym, modern machines, whatever. You can do
mhm.
it with small dumbbells and some cables and some old school machines.
Do you still go there too now or?
I still train there. I like there some, I like there some machines are very awesome. I train there some muscle groups that I like. I switch up. So I'm at least once or twice a week there. But
Okay.
because I work I sometimes I don't have time between work and my clients to, this gym is a little bit more far away than
Okay.
my usual gym.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes I don't have time for the commute in between.
Okay.
So I have here next to my office and to my home, I have another gym. This is a 24 hours hammer strength gym, and
Okay.
um, and there I can go all time when I want.
Oh,
But I
good.
switch up. I also joined another gym. This is more far away. This is Silverback, like 1.5 hours from here, or
Oh,
one
okay.
hour drive from here, because
Yeah.
this is one of the biggest gyms in Switzerland. And
Okay.
when I had my knee surgery and couldn't train legs so good, I needed a
Okay.
gym that has more machines and more variety. So I joined this gym and I go there still every weekend.
Okay.
And I just I travel around and I switch up a little bit my program and the machines and everything.
What's like the closest like big city to you there in Basel?
Well, Basel is a bigger city. So Basel is about 1.5 hours away from Zurich. That is,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, everybody knows Zurich, and
Yeah.
also 1.5 hours from the capital, Bern. This is the
Oh,
capital of Switzerland. So
okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Very
Switzerland is not that big. So if you want to travel from one end to the other, it takes you maybe 2.5 or 3 hours with the car. So
Yeah. I know that's pretty small, especially
yes,
compared to US. US is pretty big.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, wow. Um, I was curious if you could give your an opinion about, the European bodybuilding shows. The NPC shows are often not giving out pro cards because there's not enough competitors. And I was just wondering, how do you think you can get more physique and bodybuilding women to compete in Europe? Um, and I don't even
Mhm.
know like what's the source of this problem, because I'm kind of surprised by it, because I thought you traditionally it seems like there's a lot of you know amateurs that are interested in becoming pro in European countries. But I don't know. Is it maybe COVID that caused it, or what's the cause, do you think?
Well, I can just talk about Switzerland, what I see here in the gyms when I train in different gyms.
Hmm.
There are many people training, but they are training just for health reasons. They're not ambitious to go on a show.
Okay.
This has changed a lot the last few years.
Hmm.
I don't think that COVID was the reason, because in COVID there were so many motivated people and they wanted to compete.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is social media.
Hmm.
That's like the market is oversaturated.
Yeah.
Everybody is a coach. Everybody is the best. Everybody is this, that, knows everything. And
Hmm.
people like, I don't want to compete or something. I don't know what the real reason is. I just think it's just the market is oversaturated with
Hmm.
fitness overall.
Really?
And I
Yeah.
think it will take some years that it really calms down again and people get this fire and passion again to compete.
Hmm. I was thinking too, is it, I think the NPC is relatively new to Europe and other parts of the world too. So I wonder if it's taking a while to build up to get the NPC, accepted or just more popular in Europe and other countries.
Well, here in Switzerland, if you want to compete, there are not so many federations you can compete. So
Mm.
most people go either with the MPC or the IFBB Elite.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
this is the only two that really have some people for shows.
Mm.
There's maybe a WFF or something smaller, but yeah, this is the first thing people have in mind. I don't
Yeah.
think that they don't know it. I just have the feeling they're not interested because
Mm.
they know it costs them money, and
Yeah.
you know, we live in a culture. Everything gets more expensive, and also in Switzerland, food is very expensive. So
Yeah.
if you're calculating the gym membership, the foods, coaching, tanning, blah blah, then you're up for a big, money. And then people ask, why should I compete? I can go with that money on a beach, sunny beach for 2 weeks and have nice holidays. So
Mm.
this is the problem, not
Yeah.
not, and also the costs of competing are high.
Mhm.
as an amateur. If you want to go for um, um, qualifier to get a pro card, you have to pay like extremely much money. I mean,
Really?
I don't know how
Yeah.
much exactly, but this is like a several $100s,
Oh,
and
wow. Yeah.
and this isn't only the entrance fee and
Yeah.
not the hotel, uh, the flights or whatever, the travel.
Yeah. I understand.
So I think this is the main problem that people don't have so much money and they don't want to spend so much money anymore
I
on
understand
bodybuilding.
that. I was thinking too, like, there's no guarantee you're going to get your pro card anyway, because you know what I mean? So it's like almost like
Yes.
a deterrent. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know? So yeah, well, that's too bad though. I understand though. And that makes sense though. And the economy is still pretty tough right now. And
Mhm.
so and inflation and everything is it's a battle throughout the world. It's not just the United States, I know. So yeah. I was curious, would you consider moving to the US to be closer to that kind of center of bodybuilding, or maybe it's more accepted in the US?
I would like to, but I need a job. No,
Yeah,
no.
well, I
I
understand.
work here in the office. I work as a process and project manager in the
Hmm.
IT. And, this is my job. I have to pay my bills. I have to finance. I would
Yeah.
like to live from bodybuilding and to move to the States. But
Hmm.
it's for me just at the moment too insecure because I need an income, to be honest. And
Yeah.
it's also not easy because if I want to move to States, I cannot actually work. I'm just, I need a visa there for
Yeah.
working.
That's
So
true.
I have to apply for, a special visa, and then you have to prove that you're a special person for this and that. So
Hmm.
it's not very easy that you come and here I am.
Yeah. Would it help that as a pro athlete, do you think, to get the visa or no? Or,
Yes, of course. You have to show that you are a special person as an athlete, that you are
hmm.
unique, and there are some kind of athletes visa. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. That'd be great if you could come to the US. Yeah. Um,
Well, I come anyway for Las Vegas, so
oh, that's true. Oh, I know. Yeah,
I
that's
just
gonna
have
be.
to extend my stay a little bit longer. Then,
Oh yeah, no, I understand. And that's the ultimate trip to the US for you. That's gonna be exciting for you for sure.
oh yes, yes.
And Vegas is fun too. I don't know if you've ever been to Vegas before, but it's a cool place to visit too.
No, I
So,
have been to California with Helle at
uh-huh.
Venice Beach, and I have been living for a while in New York when I was younger.
Oh, really? Oh, very nice. Yeah, Vegas is fun. It's really dynamic. It's really crazy a little bit there, but it's fun though.
Awesome,
Um,
awesome. Looking forward to that.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. I was curious, do you have any kids or like a boyfriend or husband?
No, I decided when I was teenager that kids are not for me.
No,
Um,
sure.
yes.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, I don't want to be a bad mom, to be honest. And I want the things that I do, I want to do it with passion and with love. And I was feeling, with kids, I don't really enjoy it that much.
Yeah,
So for me, it was always clear that I don't want kids. So in every relationship, I just said, listen, I don't want to have kids. I just want to have a relationship one on one, and that's it. And at some
sure,
point, when you get older, also the man he wants to have kids and family, and then it doesn't fit. And also with the sport, I just don't have time for relationships. I work, I go to
sure,
the gym, and yeah,
sure. I totally
it's my
understand.
life. I'm happy with it, so I don't regret anything.
No, I totally understand that. Yeah. I think I'm amazed by the women that have kids and that compete. And like, how do they juggle all that? You know, they probably really don't get any sleep at all.
No, oh, I have so much respect of that. I couldn't do.
No, no, me either. I think that would be really tough to juggle and yeah, and having full-time job too. It just that would be really, really difficult, I think. Yeah. Yeah, and how old are you, by the way? I didn't ask you earlier.
I'm 41.
41. Oh, very cool.
Yes,
Wow. Yeah, you look great. Yeah.
thank you.
Are your parents still alive?
Oh, my dad died 3 weeks before Empro Pro.
Oh,
He,
really? Oh, wow. I'm
this was a
sorry.
pretty hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a month in hospital, and we didn't actually know how long he will survive. So
Oh,
I
wow.
was during my prep, I was working, then I did my training, and he was in a hospital 1 hour away from here, so I had at least 2 hours of a drive plus at least half an hour with him.
Okay.
So I went every second day to him, and just to let him know that I love him, and I didn't
Mm.
know if he will survive another day or not.
Yeah.
Um, he was there a whole month, so it was super stressful. Also with the mind, Helle helped me also in this time staying
Mm.
focused.
Yeah.
And then 3 weeks before Empro Pro, before the show, he actually died. It was my birthday that he
Wow.
died,
Really?
and
Wow.
yes, and
Oh,
this made me super sad. I had some. Yeah, frustrational eating there, some big cheats, and I was like, ah, damn it, I have messed up everything. I don't go to this show. It's everything over, and I was really not into into competing. And Hella
yeah.
was like, "No, we go. You have pull
Yeah.
yourself together. You go
Yeah.
for training.
That's
We can
good.
do that. Nothing is over. Just look forward. Forget about what's happened." And
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
we went.
great.
And I mean, if I would forever regret it if I wouldn't have competed. I mean,
Yeah.
I've qualified for the Olympia.
Especially, yeah, for all that time too, between shows and
Yeah,
yeah, and then yeah, of course, yeah, you might have missed your chance to go to the Olympia. That yeah, you would have yeah, you would totally would have regretted that, I think. So that's
yes.
good that she motivated you like she did.
Yes, I'm also super thankful for my mom and my brother.
Yeah.
They helped me so much with, they organized the funeral because my
Oh,
dad didn't want to be buried here in Switzerland. He wanted to be buried next to his mom. So we had to organize the transportation to Croatia and Bosnia. So it was very difficult. And
oh
I'm
wow.
very thankful for my family who supported me in this time and said, listen, do the show for you because it's important. You have been waiting for that 5.5 years. So I'm very
Yeah,
grateful for that.
that's great. So I was curious, do your mom and brother did they try to come to your shows and support you for at your bodybuilding shows?
No, no. First of all, yeah, it costs money. It's not that it's for free.
Yeah.
And second, you know, my brother has given all his vacation for the funeral and for going to my dad and
Oh
for
yeah.
organization and everything. So he
Hmm.
cannot just quit the job and go for watching the show. But they
Okay.
will have the live stream and they will watch me. So
Oh, terrific. Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah. But they sound like they're really supportive of your efforts though in bodybuilding.
yes, you know, that was not always so because my
Yeah.
parents actually they came they raised up as farmers and
Mhm.
they didn't really have much education. So for them was work always the most important thing.
Mhm.
And they always told us as kids, go to school, sport is stupid, things like that. And
Mm.
when I started bodybuilding, they're like, oh, why do you do bodybuilding? This is not a sport for women and everything.
Mm.
You know, my parents are an other generation, but
Yeah.
it's okay. You know, they're still my parents. They have their own opinion. I'm not mad about this. They can,
Yeah.
yeah, they're old enough to decide
Mm.
what they like or not like. And I'm old enough to decide what I like and I don't
Yeah.
like.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
we are all fine. It's like it's just always funny because when I go to my mom, she always prepped food, you know, and she was cooking a lot of pasta or foods that I don't eat at all. But she knows that I don't eat it, and she puts it on a plate and say, "Lee, here you have it." Or she bakes. She loves making cakes.
Oh, yeah.
Cakes with much cream on it. And
Oh
every
no.
time she's like, "Oh, you have to eat your cake," and I was like, "No, it doesn't fit in my diet." And she's like, "But, but I have done it for you." And then we get
Oh,
into this discussion of that. It's funny.
yeah.
She never gave up on it, you know.
I think that's true of a lot of bodybuilding moms. Yeah, that they're like, you don't eat enough, and here, eat this cake now. Yeah, so yeah, I totally understand that though. And it is,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right about it being a generational thing too. They might not really
Yes.
understand, especially female bodybuilding so much. Um, I actually have a daughter who's 18 and she just started college, but often thought about that, like, I don't know if I'd be cool with her getting up on stage in a bikini. It might be a little too awkward, seeing my daughter up there. But so I always wondered about that with parents of bodybuilders too.
Yes.
Um, I just have a couple more questions for you.
Mhm.
I was curious, do you like to show off your muscles in public? And I know it gets pretty cold in Switzerland, so you probably stay covered in the cold months, but what about like in the summertime?
Well, it was like that. It was many years ago, when I did wear, a tank top in the office, and I showed off a little bit of muscle there.
Yeah,
And then the person from Human Resources came to me and said, "Listen, Sandra, we don't like your dressing code. Can you please wear long sleeve in summer?"
really? Oh no.
Yes.
Oh
And then
no.
I replied to her and said, "Listen, I don't care about your dress code. If you want, I just quit the job now. If you respect me as the abilities I give you with my knowledge,
Yeah.
or yes, I just quit. I find another employer. It's no problem."
Oh,
And
sure.
then the dress code changed. So
Oh, nice. Very good. Yeah.
yes,
Kind
but
of like
yes,
short
usually
section.
the dress code changed for our company. We were allowed to wear like t-shirts and jeans and stuff like that. So I
Nice.
usually go in t-shirt and jeans and sneakers to work because I
Okay.
feel comfortable. Um, yes, I'm good with that. In the gym, I also don't show off. I wear just an old T-shirt, the
Okay.
one that I really like.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Always the same clothes, something like that. And
Okay.
in this prep, for instance, it was a little bit colder this year. So in
Okay.
this prep, I have worn a long sleeve because I was thinking, first of all, it was colder, and second, you know, I don't want that other people stare, and Swiss people are like, they don't come to you and say something good usually. They come to
Mm,
you and say something bad and say,
mm.
"Oh, you don't look that good. Do you want to really go for a show?" So if you don't show, you don't get into the discussion, and then you can train on your own, very focused. So I was thinking,
That's
nobody
good.
needs to see what I have. I will show it off, at the show in Empro Pro in Spain. Then I take off my shirts and everything, and everybody's like, "Oh, what's that?" And this is
Yeah.
what really happened because
Yeah.
most of people in the gym that saw me like wearing this long sweater and long pants, and they were like, "Oh, Sandra's training, okay," and Sandra's going for a show, and now they realize like, "Oh, this is you." Look at
That's
those back and those legs, and whoa. And it's really funny of their reactions, and most of them are very impressed that I have qualified and that I win. But
that's
yeah,
great.
it was
That's
fun just to surprise people.
Oh, I love that. I think that's awesome that you surprised him like that. Even the people in the gym like that. Yeah.
Yes, but
Um,
your inner motivation doesn't have to be for external validation or something like that. You should do
yeah.
it for yourself.
Yeah.
When somebody comes to you and says you look good, then say thank you, and it's really nice, polite. But don't wait for it. I don't post things on Instagram because I don't need it. I don't
Yeah.
need everybody saying me, "Oh, you look awesome" or something like that. It's okay. This is my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, I think that's good, actually. That's good advice too. It's interesting. I talked with some Australian ladies about how just some of the nasty comments they've gotten, not just social media, but in person from Australians about female bodybuilding. And but
Mhm.
they're just so upfront in your face about being nasty. So but it's a shame that you have to deal with people like that though. And I'm sure you're probably somewhat used to it, but you just learn how to deal with it too, you know.
You have to accept that, you know, normal people that you see on the street, they don't like bodybuilders.
Yeah.
They stare at you because you're different.
Mm.
And most people don't like different things.
Hmm.
So you have to be okay that their things are coming,
Yeah.
and that you probably are asked, you know, when I go with my cap and long sweater and everything shopping, they say, you know, I live here next to the border, so that to talk French, to say bonjour monsieur, so
Uh-huh.
Mr. Hi Mr. So I'm like, okay.
Oh, I see. Oh no. Oh man, sorry. No, well, that's not nice.
No, it's okay. You know, you learn that with years that it's okay what they say. That they
Yeah.
just don't, you know, for them it's not important. They just see you as a man because you have such a big back or so much muscle that they don't
Yeah.
think that you're a woman.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I understand that. And bodybuilding is still not, yeah, widely accepted, you know.
No, no.
Yeah, but like you said, with normal people and stuff. So, but you guys look like superheroes. Y'all should be celebrated, you know, in my opinion. But I'm a longtime fan. I've been a fan for 42 years or so. So,
Yes. Oh, that's awesome. I like that. I'm also a fan of bodybuilding and of men and women, you know.
yeah.
It's really, you know, it's a sport on the highest level. It's not only, you know, what you do in the gym, it's also the diet and the presentation. And this
Mhm.
is for me, more you cannot do it. It's one of the hardest sports that you can find.
It is. It's really impressive, and yeah, I definitely admire all the bodybuilders for what they do. It's really hard work, and yeah. Now I was curious. I just have really one more question for you.
Mhm.
In terms of, have you seen more attention from fans and competitors since you started or since you won the Empro? Because, you know, like you said, you kind of kept it as a surprise, like how good you looked. But I bet a lot of fans are reaching out to you more now.
Yes, I see. Many are following me now
Okay.
on social media. That was not the before. I didn't have so much attention, and I very appreciate every single one who writes me and tells me that I did a great job and how good I performed, and that congratulated me for the win and for the Olympic qualification. So thank you very much for all the fans and also the athletes who are yeah, following me. So yes, about social media, I got really yeah, much response, and yeah, it makes fun to see that the work pays off, and that you yeah, it's really nice.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. And have you had more like trolls pop up too, like the negative people, or not so much?
No, no,
No,
I didn't have negative people at all. You
good.
know, that's okay. You know, don't need
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I know you don't need that at all. And yeah, no, I understand that. That's good though. Um, I was wondering if there's anything that I missed that you'd like to address here. We covered a lot.
Yes. I just want to say that there are many ups and downs in the career of a bodybuilder, and if
Yeah.
one day is not good, there are many more days that come and where you can do better.
Hmm.
So for everybody, just keep going, and the most important thing is consistency. This leads to success.
Great. That's good advice. Yeah. I was curious too, is there anybody else? I know we talked about Hella, of course, but that you'd like to shout out here?
Yes, of course, Helle, who, yeah, she did everything in my prep and helped me so many years. But I
Yeah.
also want to thank my training client, Dr. Katrina. She has been my client for now 2.5 years,
Nice.
4 times a week. She's so consistent, and she really motivates me to keep going.
Good.
And yes, and also I want to thank all the gyms that I trained. This is the Animal Gym in Basel,
Okay.
Old School Gym in Allschwil, Silverback in Unterenfelden, and Motion Sports Club in Wangen bei Olten.
Okay.
Then I have had an amazing bikini at the Empro Pro. Brilliant bikinis, and Vicky made that for me.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, I want to really thank her for making this wonderful bikini.
That
And
was a nice bikini. It was great.
yes,
Yeah.
Michel Brandt from Brandt's Bling made the customized jewelry which fitted to my bikini. It was really nice to have that. And it, you know, if you have such things, you feel even more confident on stage.
Yeah.
And also, I want to thank Nina, who's always doing my nails,
Oh, nice.
Sandra, who's doing my massages and puts me together. And then I have some IFBB Pro friends who I'm constantly in contact, like Tamara, Gina, and Jay, who listen to every stupid thing that I want to chat with them. And
Oh,
of course,
nice.
of
Is that
course, I thank all my fans who supported me during the last few years and also now, and everybody who wishes me luck for the Olympia. And I hope seeing all of them or some of them at the Olympia. And yeah, let's take pictures, let's say hi and meet.
Yeah, definitely. That's you're going to get to see a lot of fans at the meet and greet for sure, and it's going to be a great show. I'm really excited about it. So I look forward to
Yeah,
meeting you in person
it
too.
will be the biggest show at the 60th anniversary. This is amazing.
I know that's a big deal for sure. I'm excited about that too. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Sandra. Um,
Thank you, David.
if you don't mind, would you mind doing a quick flex for me too? Wow, nice. Looking good. Yeah, you look terrific. One thing I was curious about, how tall are you?
This is 5'3".
5'3". Oh, cool.
Yes.
So, but that's about the height of a lot of the women's physique competitors, I think, and bodybuilders.
Yes, I think it's like average or so.
Is yeah, exactly. I think so. Um, but thank you so much for your time, and I'll try to get this posted probably in the next hour or so, and I'll tag
Mhm.
you, of course, and shout out to Hella too for all the great work she's done for you.
Yes, thank you very much.
But thank you so much. It's good chatting with you, and best wishes at the Olympia, and I'll see you soon. See you in October.
Yeah, see you in October in Las Vegas.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.